Jeff Ulbrich was just hired by the Atlanta Falcons to take over Jimmy Lake's defensive coordinator job. Here's what I have to say about it. Hey, what's going on, guys? Ben AK Sauce here, and today I'm bringing you guys another Falcons video. And if you're new around here, I upload Madden, some college football, and mainly NFL and more specifically Atlanta Falcons content. So make sure you subscribe and like this video if it was informative or, like good or something. I don't know. Anyways, let's get into it. So as you can see by the title and the thumbnail, Jeff Ulbrich was hired by the Atlanta Falcons and Jimmy Lake was fired. Back on January 11th was when Jimmy Lake was fired. But Jeff Ulbrich was just recently hired, and I want to give you guys my thoughts and opinions about it. So let's go ahead and do that. So Jeff Ulbrich, he was a coordinator with us back in 2015. He was part of Dan Quinn's staff. He was our linebackers coach, and once Dan Quinn was fired in 2020, they promoted Raheem Morris to our interim head coach, and then Jeff Ulbrich was then promoted by Raheem Morris to be our defensive interim coach, because that's what Raheem Morris was. And we went 4-11 in the final 11 games of the 2020 season with them two in charge. So, not good. So that was great. And so now we have that head coach and defense coordinator combo back, and to a lot of people's dismay, especially on X, I've seen a lot of Falcons fans very mad, and they said they would much rather prefer a bunch of other options that we even interviewed, and I'll get into that a little bit later. I think I'll probably have timelines, whatever, of what I talk about. But and then once he, at the conclusion of the 2020 season, when he was our interim defensive coordinator, Raheem Morris and Jeff Ulbrich was relieved of their duties, and then that's when we got Arthur Smith, which was so great. And Jeff Ulbrich went to the Jets to be their defensive coordinator, and of course Raheem Morris went to the Rams defensive coordinator job, where he was stellar. But Jeff Ulbrich, when he went to the Jets, he was not good at all. He finished the season, the Jets did, ranked last in both points and yards allowed per game. So, and the Jets defense was second to last in turnovers forced. So that's great. That's the guy we hired, but it gets better, don't worry. No, actually it does. And then a year later, the Jets ranked fourth in points and yards allowed per game, and they also finished fourth in defensive EPA. And then by 2023, last year, the Jets, they were third in yards allowed and 12th in points allowed. So, pretty good. Defensive EPA was second best in the league last year. And then obviously this year, he was promoted to interim head coach week 6. So week 6 and beyond, you can take with a grain of salt, because he wasn't calling the defensive plays for the Jets. And to start this year, the Jets week 1 through 5 on defense, they were good, and then they kind of went bad. And a lot of people say it's because Robert Saleh was fired, and they're like, why did they fire Robert Saleh? And this is what happens. But I think part of it is because Jeff Ulbrich was no longer calling the defensive plays, and that gives us hope that the defensive unit of the Jets was not very good, and Jeff Ulbrich was raising the ceiling or the floor of the Jets defense, and hopefully he'll do a better job than Jimmy Lake. But enough about his background. Moving on to the other candidates that we interviewed. I'm going to go over 3. First, I'll start with Matt Eberflus. He was the Bears head coach for the past couple of seasons, and he's notorious for being bad. He got fired during this season, and he was the coach there from 2022 to now. Well, during the season. And before that, he was a defensive coordinator with the Colts. And before that, he bounced around through being special linebackers coach for the Browns and Missouri Tigers defensive coordinator. But, the most recent things were head coaching job, and then before that I was a defense coordinator job with the Colts. I would have liked this hire. I don't know, just on the surface, I just had to take a minute break and I searched, what's it called when somebody applies to a job when they have too much experience and too much education. But what I'm trying to say, it's not like Matt Eberflus would have been overqualified, but I like the fact that he was the top dog and now he's taking a step back to I just like scenarios like that, and people don't like it, and they were joking, the Falcons, other fan bases, wow, look how bad Matt Eberflus was as a head coach, now you want him as a coordinator job. It's just, I don't get it. But anyways, Matt Eberflus, I think he would have been a fine addition, but we went a different way. And next we have Wink Martindale, the defensive coordinator for Michigan, and I saw a lot of people were upset that we didn't hire him. All these people, by the way, we interviewed, if I didn't already say that. And before he was a defensive coordinator for Michigan, he was the defensive coordinator for the Giants 2 seasons ago, 2023, and then the season before that as well. And then before that, he worked with the Ravens for almost a decade, and he's worked with the Broncos, the Raiders, and I don't know. I would have liked it if he was a younger guy, he has a lot of potential. If this would have been maybe his first, not his first not his first NFL job, but to be a young guy, maybe have some experience as a linebackers coach or something in the NFL, and then being a defensive coordinator in college, and then now finally getting a defensive coordinator job in the NFL and hopefully getting a home run hire. I would have liked that, but this guy appears to be old, which is fine, but I don't know. I wouldn't have preferred that, and I guess the Falcons agreed. And then lastly, the last guy I'm going to talk about is going to be Steve Wilks, and Steve Wilks was the defensive coordinator for the San Francisco 49ers in the 2023 season, not this past year. And this probably would have been my preferred candidate for the job. He was the head coach for the Cardinals 1 year in 2018, and then he has been with the Panthers for a while. And I think he would have been a good addition for us, and that's about it for that. And so, an overview, people are mad because the Falcons always like to hire best friends and buddies of the organization, like Jimmy Lake was Raheem Morris's friend, and then with Jeff Ulbrich, he was the guy that Raheem Morris promoted in 2020 to be his defensive coordinator, and they worked alongside each other for 5 years leading up to that in Atlanta. So a lot of people talk about the Falcons being stuck in their own ways and just, hiring buddies, like I said. But I think this hire can have a very good impact on this team. I said I'd be fine with keeping Jimmy Lake again, but since I posted that video, I kind of looked back at the season and even the must-win game against the Panthers, Week 18. We let up 44 points. It's insane. Yeah, it's excusable. It's inexcusable. So, I'm excited for Jeff Ulbrich to be our DC next year. And if you want to know how I feel about Michael Penix and our uniforms and other things like that, I've already posted videos about them. I'll link them maybe or something. Just check them out. Subscribe, please. Thank you guys for watching. If you're 11 minutes into this, it deserves a like, at least. Please. I have like 300 subs. Please. Okay, thank you for everyone. Bye.